Story 1. My friend Jessica and I go camping once per year. It's a sort of tradition we have. This year, we went camping on a mountain range in Europe. As always, we hired a tour guide. The tour guide's name was Don. He was very tall and lanky. He wore large glasses and had very crooked teeth. He was very flirtatious in a creepy way. Nothing too aggressive or anything, just a socially inept loner. Don led us deep into the mountains. He showed us all the streams, large rocks, and wildlife. After a few hours of hiking, it was getting dark, so we decided to set up camp. Don did most of the work. I know, we should have helped. We were just so excited to be on our camping trip that we could barely focus. By the time that Don finished lighting the fire and setting up the tents, we were all hungry. We sat around the fire. Its loud crackling noise was oddly soothing. We cooked hot dogs and made s'mores. It was wonderful. We even had some champagne that we brought from our hotel. "So you guys ever play Truth or Dare?" Jess asked with a smile. "No, but we should give it a try. It would be something different," I replied. Don was reluctant to play. After I gave him a slight pat on the back, he agreed. Don's turn was first. "Truth or Dare?" I asked Don. "Truth," Don replied, staring at his feet. "Have you ever kissed a girl before?" I asked with a laugh. "No," Don replied, timidly continuing to look down. I felt bad for him. I honestly did. Life is short, and he had to be well into his 30s. I moved towards Don and told him to look at me. I then gave him a passionate kiss. Stunned and beet red, Don started to feel more comfortable and smiled. After a few seconds of a slightly awkward silence, it was my turn. "Truth or Dare?" Jess asked me. "Truth," I replied. "Did you enjoy that kiss?" Jess asked with a smirk. "Of course I did," I answered. Don looked towards me, smiling ear to ear. Finally, it was Jess's turn. "Truth or Dare?" I asked. "Dare," Jess replied. "I dare you to kill Don." Don looked up, amused. "Good one, girls. I think I'm going to head to bed," Don said. Before he could stand up, Jess pulled the machete out from her backpack. She lifted it high into the air and stabbed Don straight through the throat. The jugular is quite the fountain given the right circumstances. He bled out within 3 minutes. We buried the body and headed back to civilization. Our annual camping trip was complete. I can't wait until next year. Story 2. I'm Ken. I haven't told many people this story, and you might think I'm a bit crazy, but here it goes. My friends and I were scheduled to go camping for my 21st birthday. We were supposed to bring kegs, limitless liquor, and steaks to cook on the fire. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, everyone bailed except my friend Larry. We drove deep into the forest in Larry's Jeep and arrived at what appeared to be a previously used makeshift campsite. There was a pit for a fire, some remnant trash, and a dilapidated tent. Whoever was here appeared to have left in a hurry, but it was getting dark and we needed to set up camp with the remaining sunlight. Thus, we parked the Jeep and got out. Larry and I set up our tent and lit a fire. We cracked open a few beers and made s'mores. In the middle of listening to one of Larry's stories about his escapades with women, we heard a bunch of leaves crackle. What the hell was that, dude?" Larry asked as he finished his beer. "Not sure, man. Probably a fox or something. Don't be a wimp," I replied with a laugh. We continued drinking and started to discuss basketball. As we were arguing over who would win the title this year, we heard a branch snap. This time it was very loud and much closer to us. "Okay, man, what's going on?" Larry said as he stood up to get a look. "I'm not sure. I'll go check," I replied. I had gone camping before, so I wasn't too concerned. Noises happen in nature. I stood up and walked over to the area where the sound was coming from. I walked a few yards into the forest and found nothing. No animals, and certainly no person. "Must be our imaginations, man. Nothing there. Now toss me another beer," I said as I sat down. We finished making s'mores and drank a few more beers. We were each exhausted and tired from the long trip, so we put out the fire and went to bed. I slept like a baby that night. It was almost weird. You see, I've got very bad insomnia. I never really fall asleep quickly, and I can't even remember the last time I slept straight through the night. The next morning, we were awakened by birds chirping in the tree near us. I stood up and opened the tent. My blood ran cold. Our entire campsite was covered in stones and sticks, arranged into some sort of ritualistic symbols. Our fire was now burning, although we put it out. There were dead birds scattered throughout the area, arranged into the same symbol as the stones and sticks. I woke Larry up and we immediately left. We didn't even bother taking our tent. We never found out who or what did that to our campsite, and to be honest, I don't even think I want to know. If you see a campsite with an abandoned tent, keep driving. Chances are something or someone made the previous campers leave in a hurry. Story 3. All of this happened during the first and last time my dad took me camping. I wasn't very outdoorsy growing up, so I really didn't even want to go. My dad claimed that camping and general outdoor experiences made the man. Thus, we made the pilgrimage out to a state park in my area. My dad wanted our campsite to be as secluded as possible, so it would give me the full experience of truly being one with nature. He drove us deep into the state park and parked his pickup truck next to a stream. Right from the start, I could tell that I was annoying him. I didn't know how to do anything, and to be totally honest, I was a bit of a wimp. When we went fishing, I complained that mosquitoes were biting me. When we set up the tent, I complained that it was too heavy. When we lit the fire, I complained that it was too hot. My dad is a tough guy, so he would just brush off whatever I said, claiming that kids my age were too soft. After an exhausting day of setting up camp, catching fish, and cooking said fish for dinner, it was time for bed. My dad and I laid down and quickly fell asleep. Around an hour later, a splash woke me up in the stream next to our tent. Thinking nothing of it, and not wanting to wake Dad to complain again, I tried to go back to sleep. Unfortunately, nature called, and I had to go to the bathroom. Without waking Dad, I walked out to the bushes next to the stream. The forest was dark, and the only source of light was the full moon. I unzipped my pants and began going to the bathroom. As I was going, I heard another splash in the stream. This one was a bit louder than the last. Now I was starting to get a bit nervous. I finished going to the bathroom and turned around. My stomach sank. There was a brown bear in the stream, no more than 20 feet away from where I was standing. The bear wasn't that big. I assumed it was a cub. It appeared to be searching for fish, which would explain the splashing noise. I didn't think it saw me, but I was so scared that I couldn't move. I knew I had to get back to the tent. Dad brought the bear spray. I slowly started walking when a twig snapped beneath me. I froze and slowly looked up. The bear was looking in my direction and started running away as if it was afraid of me. Thank God, I thought to myself as I slowly continued walking back towards the tent. Suddenly, I heard something behind me. It was a loud thumping noise. I slowly turned around. It was a large brown bear standing upright. I quickly realized that the bear I scared away must have been its cub, and the one lesson that Dad taught me was to never come between a bear and its cubs. I started sprinting back towards the tent, but it was too far away. My dad's pickup truck was closer, so I knew that was my best chance. Within a few strides, I made it to the truck, opened the door, and got in. Almost simultaneously, the bear leaped next to the driver's side window. It clawed at the door and began pushing the truck as if it was a toy. The truck moved slowly from side to side. I held my breath and rummaged through the truck to see if there was anything that could help me. As I was looking through the glove compartment, the truck tilted backwards. The bear was standing upright in the bed of the truck. It was clearly angry and let out a ferocious roar. Just as the bear began to thrash at the back window, I heard an air horn. The bear quickly jumped off the truck and sprinted away from our campsite in the direction of its cub. My dad stood in front of the tent with the air horn in hand and a stunned look on his face. We packed up camp and headed home right after that. We never went camping again. Dad accepted that I just wasn't meant for the outdoors. If you go camping this summer, be careful. You never know who or what you may find. Hey guys, Scare Central here. First off, I just wanted to thank you for viewing this video. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when new stories are posted. I would also be grateful if you shared this channel. I truly believe that we can make Scare Central the future of all things horror. This is only possible with your support. Lastly, my goal is to make your Monday and Thursday evenings as horrifying as possible. So please, let me know any thoughts or suggestions in the comments. Thank you, and stay well.